Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I'm so excited to bring you this live tonight. The topic is very simple: how to package your expertise to build a coaching or consulting business. Maybe that's something that you've wanted to figure out how to leverage your education, your background, your experience, and package it into your very own coaching or consulting or online education training, or maybe you want to license your knowledge. Well, you're in the right place tonight. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant, and I started my company over 21 years ago. And I wanted to do exactly what I'm going to teach you tonight. I wanted to figure out how to take my knowledge as a corporate trainer and package it into my very own business. Now, when I got started, I did not necessarily know what my niche was going to be, or who I was going to coach or anything like that. And maybe that's where you're sitting also today. And I know that as a result of what I will share with you today, that it will move you forward. You will think, oh, I never thought about getting started and how easy it is to get started taking my knowledge, my education, my background, and gifts and package it. Now, before I give it up, because as always, I will teach you something absolutely amazing that has value. Do me a favor, share this broadcast and make sure you're subscribed here, because then when I come on every Monday, you'll get a notification automatically. And I typically come on somewhere like 8:30 or 8:45 on Mondays. All right. So do that now. All right. And then also, if you have any questions while you're listening to the live, you can post them here in the chat. I'll be sure to answer them. But also at the end of the broadcast, I will always come back and see if there are any questions. And even if you're watching the replay, we love that kind of love also. You can always post your questions here, and we promise you we'll get right back to you and support you. All right. So I'm so glad that you're here tonight. I knew it would be a really hot topic on all the platforms, because I'm teaching very simply today how to take your expertise, how to leverage your experience, your background, and your gifts, and how do you get started as a coach or a consultant. Maybe you've thought about doing this yourself. You're a professional in some way, and you're like, man, it would be really great if I could figure out how to take this and consult other corporations. Or maybe maybe you're a therapist and you thought, man, I would love to build a great coaching business based on your specialty or your niche in whatever level of therapy you provide. And you're like, but how would I make that transition, right? Like, how do I do that? Or maybe you're a speaker, and what you find is every time you're done speaking and every time you give a presentation, there are tons of people that are lined up, around you at the end of your talk, and they want more from you. And you're like, but how do I move from where I am to coaching and consulting? Is it possible? Is it easy? Or maybe you're that person and you've thought about what you do professionally, maybe in the C suite, coaching whoever it is that you're coaching through your work, but you haven't formalized your own coaching system or methods. And maybe you want to license that to other corporations or agencies, all of those things. Well, you're in the right place tonight. I promise you, as a result of being here, it's going to enlighten you. I want you to make sure you are connected to me at miaredrick.com. And that's my website. And there you can always sign up for our newsletter list, right? So that we can stay in contact, right? miaredrick.com. And I always give some great tidbits there as well in my newsletter. All right. So who's ready, right? So you have to be ready for an amazing message. And tonight's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, tonight I'm going to teach simply how do you make that shift, like your expertise, and get started coaching and consulting. And if it's you and you wanted to get started coaching or consulting, but you're not sure where to get started, I'm going to ask this question. Put it in the chat. Write me, right? Like, that's me, Mia, right? I've been wanting to do this. I don't know where to get started. So here's the first thing that I recommend that you do, and you can write this down. The first thing you want to do is you want to think about what you know differently. So, what I often see, I've coached thousands of women over the last 21 years in business. And the one thing that I often notice is that really smart, sharp women often overlook what their talents are that could be of value as a coach or as a consultant. And I can tell you almost anything is packageable, almost anything is marketable as long as you have the ability to create results for others. That's the catch, right? You got to have an ability as a result of what you know to create impact and results for others. And if you know how to do that, thank you for the heart. If you know how to do that, create results for others, you will find that coaching and consulting will be a really great place for you. Why? Because often corporations they have problems in their organization. And based on your skill set and what you know how to do, they're looking for people who can create impact, who can come in and train and coach and mentor individuals within their companies that are on the outside that can really create shifts and changes based on their years of experience, their expertise, and their education. Think about it this way. There are people who right now are watching, you're watching me, right? There are people who will be watching you and hearing you talk about something that you know how to create tremendous and deep impact and change in a certain area. And they'll say, man, I really resonate with you, right? Like you may say, I really resonate with you, Mia. Okay, exactly. And those individuals will want to know more. How can you support me? So the first thing you need to do is really think about what is it that you know, not from the smallest area, but from the highest and tallest level result that you can provide. And it just is true. Think about the kind of change you can make in this world. Think about the kind of impact that you want to create. And I always say, make whatever you do high and tall because you'll be excited about it. So let me explain. I'll go in on this a little deeper. From the time that I started my business, I decided this was told for me 21 years ago. I want to work from the comfort of my home. I had worked in corporate America for a Fortune 100 company, and I was amazing as a corporate trainer, and I loved what I did professionally. But I didn't want to work in the office. I was over like corner office with the view, give me a plaque. I'm like so over that. Like that's the last thing I ever wanted anybody to give me. Even today, that's not how I establish or acknowledge what my value is, right? I wanted to work in a way that would allow me to work from the comfort of my home around my priorities. So what I mean by that is I wanted to build a business where I could still take my kids to school. They were very young when I got started. They were one, and I think I was pregnant eventually with Matthew, my youngest son today, right? So I had a young family. I wanted to build a business that was complementary of my priorities. And maybe that's one of the reasons why you're looking to shift and change and create a business is we don't talk about this enough, but I understand this. I wanted to be that person that drove my kids to school when they were really young and picked them up. I wanted to be that mom that could volunteer all the time. And I did exactly that. So I built a business around my life. And one of the greatest things you could do is really think about, right? Imagine for a minute, like if you could build a business the way that you would desire, what would it look like? Most often it doesn't have anything to do with like, working more. A lot of times it has to do with working less, but working less well, right? In ways that's more congruent with your values. That was the first thing. The other thing that I thought about that was high and tall for me was I was over the trade time for dollar model. And maybe you're this way as well. So sometimes with people who are salaried, right? You're compensated exceptionally well for what you do, but you're still basically trading time for dollars. And one of the things that you may want is not to do that. So I have a lot of clients who are high level professionals. Maybe, they in exchange for their advice, they're compensated between $150 to $1,500 per client, right? Per hour. Well, the reality is if that's you, there's a cap on your income, right? So in order for you to earn more, you have to see more clients, correct? And so a lot of those individuals, that, let's say, if you are consulting clients or you're a therapist in some way, you're a medical doctor in some way, like, man, okay, I'm seeing whatever number of people a day, right? And you know what your capacity is, your emotional capacity, your psychological capacity, right? Just time capacity. So there's a cap on the amount of time that you can spend with a client, or maybe even the more hours that you're willing to extend doing what you're doing. For me, High and Tall Man, I did not want to have my model where I was trading time for dollars. I wanted to build a model that was based on my value. I wanted to understand how to build a business packaging all of who I was. And I wanted to work with a small subset of amazing individuals and give them everything I've got. Now, like what I'm telling you right now is absolutely it's possible, and it's absolutely out of the box. Now, keep in mind, this is me 21 years ago. I want to work from the comfort of my home when everybody else was working outside of the home. This is prior to COVID. Like now, COVID, everyone works now at home, or a lot of people do. But 21 years ago, no one was working at home. And I decided I'm going to work from home and run my coaching consulting business. Now, here was the other radical notion I had. I'm going to do this, but I want to do this and not have to go on the road to get clients. So I did not build my coaching practice as a speaker. Okay, I built my coaching practice and my marketing methods to bring my ideal clients directly to me. Okay, and this is before Facebook. This is before Google. So now it's gotten so much easier to be able to attract your ideal clients. And I promise you, if you understand the magic, if you will, or the secrets, I should say, to bringing in your clients to you, it really changes things. So I didn't want to be this person that had to go on the road in any way in order for me to monetize my business, because my life couldn't stand it and withstand that. And also my husband had developed kidney disease, was on dialysis. And in addition to that, he ended up getting a kidney transplant, successful kidney transplant. So my life just couldn't handle me running all over the place. Does that make sense? And maybe you want to build your business from the comfort of your home with authentic ways that allow you to show up for your priorities. The most important thing for me was that I build the business around my priorities, number one. And number two, that I not trade time for dollars, that I literally learn to build packages for myself that would allow me to show up 100% for my ideal clients. And I knew that that would be the magic in my business. Number two, are you getting value, or are you getting value? All right. Today, what I'm talking about is how to take your expertise, your education, your experience, and how to build out an amazing coaching and consulting practice, or maybe it's a course, or maybe you want to license what you do and you're like, how do I get started? Well, the very first thing that I shared already is you're going to start by thinking about what you know, and really showing up tall for yourself, in opposed to just saying, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to do the small part, right? Just the act of the work. That's what most people do. But instead, build a business around something that's amazing. Like build a business that you don't want to leave, right? Like that you walk into this amazing thing you created for yourself, right? A business that gives you more time freedom, a business that allows you to be fully expressed, doing all of what you love to do, a business that is around your priorities, right? A business that allows you to do all that you've always wanted to do, combine many different parts of yourself. And to me, that's being giant for yourself. The second thing that I want you to keep in mind, if you do want to build a business based on your expertise and your gifts and your talents and all of those things, right, as a coach or a consultant, the second piece is understand that being unique is your superpower. All right. And listen, I get this, right? Like, I know that you've seen a gazillion, I did say gazillion, right? A gazillion people online, every single day. You see posts about every single thing and what everybody's doing and whatever. But I can tell you this for sure, that the way that I built my business is being myself, being all of myself, being all of who I am. Mia Redrick is not a smaller version of anyone else. Mia Redrick is a giant version of herself. And my only goal was always to work on myself, my mindset, in such a way that I could be all of who I am. Because then I knew that I would be very attractive to my ideal clients, who equally are people who value authenticity and truth and, and that kind of thing, right? That they're looking to be giants and gigantic in their life. Now, how would I ever, as a coach, teach other people to be giant for themselves and not be giant for myself, right? So think about this as it relates to you. I want you to think about, how could you really show up 100% as you? It doesn't matter if someone else isn't doing what it is that you see or feel you were meant to do. I believe wholeheartedly that you're meant to broker the idea. You are meant to lead from the front. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal about leading from the front. It's going to take courage. Okay. I wrote about this in my newsletter today. It's going to take bravery. Okay. Now, if you're waiting, right, for someone else to do it, to give you permission, I am not talking to you. I am talking to that person that you keep hearing this idea over and over again, or thinking about this thing, ruminating on this thing over and over again. And you're like, I feel like I'm supposed to do whatever it is, right? But you don't see anyone else do it. You were meant to do it. Now, I started my business as a mom coach 21 years ago, when there were no mom coaches. Like, the words did not exist. Like, you could not Google mom coaching. Okay. You would found nothing. All right. You thought like it was a soccer coach or something like that. I just felt that was what I was called to do. And I moved in the direction of that. And amazing things happened for me as a result of me trusting myself. Now, in order to trust yourself, you're going to have to do some work. Here are a couple things that I did, and this might help you. Number one, I decided that if you're not free, you can't teach me. And I only wanted to work with mentors who have been full-time entrepreneurs, right? Who had significant track records of success demonstrated. Okay. Number one. Number two, I decided that I would be the number one investor in myself without compromise. Because what I knew how to do was to work, right? Like, I knew how to work for someone else. But what I didn't know was how to build an amazing coaching business. But I knew that that was my freedom ticket. And somebody write hashtag freedom ticket. I knew it was. And I recognized, in order for me to get to where I needed to get to, that I needed to invest time, money, and energy. And I also needed to invest on my attitude and my mindset, so that I could grow and step into a person that could see the thing that was in my mind's eye. See, the thing that gets in the way with most people, quite frankly, thank you, Wendy, what gets in the way with most people is that they are afraid. People are so afraid of what someone else is going to think. Someone that doesn't know you, someone that doesn't have a dream as big as yours. You know what I mean? What your spouse is going to say, what your friends are going to say, what people are going to say. People always have something to say. But at the end of the day, right, you have to build the business based on your heart. And I knew that I couldn't live a life of quiet desperation. That person that would wish and hope for all of her life, that she launched, that she bet on herself, but yet she didn't, right? So I decided to go for it. And I'll tell you a particular struggle that I've seen that smart, sharp women have as a result to doing something new. It's usually ego, right? Because, if you go 20, 30 years and you've already had tremendous success in your business, right? Or whatever it is that you've been doing professionally. And you already have in the community the awards, right? The accolades, right? The reputation for being amazing. You can believe your own press clippings, right? And it's true, like, you are amazing, right? But the deal is that a lot of times when you've been amazing, we have not experienced failure recently. All right. So, like, if it's someone that's never experienced failure, they'll go to distance because they've never taken that hit. But a person that's already tasted success, and I know I'm talking to you, right? Sometimes their fear threshold is higher because they're comfortable and they already have success. So when you're comfortable and you already have success, sometimes you just don't want to fight as hard as someone that is looking to get there. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I want you to understand that, like, the reason that you don't jump or you're not leaping, and even though you know what you want to do and how you want to do it, is because you're afraid of what other people are going to say about you. Like, what are you doing now? Okay, you already have a successful whatever it is, right? Would you want more? I found that a lot of people that we go to for advice, they haven't even done half of what I've accomplished, what you've accomplished already. And I never take my advice from people who are not the example of what it is that I want to do. And the example for me is also mindset, right? I can tell when someone speaks to me whether or not they're investing in their mindset, right? If what you say, you can't back up, that's exactly what I want, you probably shouldn't say it. For example, it's like, oh, I'm really struggling right now. That's exactly what I want. I'm just using that as an example, but you can use any phrase that you want. I like working with people who want to master themselves, be giant for themselves, to show for themselves. Now, today, what we're talking about is how to take your expertise, education, and experience and how to package it to start your own coaching consulting business. And what I've covered already is number one, the first thing you need to do is really think about what you bring to the table and then make it as gigantic as it can be and launch, right? And then the second piece is understanding that what you know is exceptionally valuable when you properly package it. And that's just it's flat true, and never to take that for granted. Number three, all right, the third thing that I want you to keep in mind is that systems matter, okay? Systems matter. And if you don't know how to, like, maybe you've already started a coaching business, but it's like infrequent clients, infrequent leads. You know what I mean? You're not really sure what you're not doing, right? Because you're like coaching yourself to do it. And it's something you think you could like, but you don't love it yet because of what's missing. The third thing to keep in mind is you got to have systems. And I always say, systematic processes in a business is what makes a business go exceptionally well. Coaching is more than serving people with your services, your knowledge, to move them forward. There's systems that you put in place so that people really truly get the results that you desire for them to get. And you have an ability to measure what that looks like in your company. You have an ability to know, like, this is what makes my company really great. These are the kind of results that I'm able to create. I always think that, results leaves clues, right? And while I can't say that anything that my clients have ever said, we have hundreds of testimonials, right? Hundreds of people have said, I went from not knowing how to create a product to learning how to create a product, a coaching product or consulting product for high ticket with Mia. Or I have clients who, as a result of working with me, within weeks, some within months, some within years, were able to close their first 5K, 10K, 15K, or six-figure plus contracts or whatever in their business, right? So I can never say, hey, look, just because they did that, you would do that. I haven't met you. I don't know you. I can't guarantee that their results will be your results. But we have hundreds of people who have stood behind the level of transformation that they received as a result of my coaching. And as a result of that, I can tell you that our processes are systematic, right? They're systematic. And what every client has learned as a result of working with me is how to take their know-how and package it into a high ticket product. All right. What every person learns is how to position themselves in the marketplace as the obvious choice, right? And when you do, competition becomes irrelevant. And what I mean by that is there are people who are going to always think they're competing with you, but they're irrelevant. You let them compete with you. You go out there and you be your gigantic, amazing self, and you lead from the front. You show them how it's done, because that's what leaders do. That's what we need, your talent. That's what we need you to be authentic. And that's what we need you to show up using the gift that you're really amazing at, and not some smaller version gift of what you think somebody's just going to buy. Does that make sense? All right. Are you guys following? Are you getting value? Are you getting value? I'm just bringing my A game and just speaking from my heart, right? So, and when you're building that business, the thing to really think about is, if it's systematic, then you'll have the ability over and over again to create the same results, right? Like over and over again for people. And I think that to me is one of the things that I love about coaching women, is that if they do the work, then the outcome is inevitable. If I give you the processes that I've used and you don't skip steps, I know that you're going to have great results. I know. I'll give an example. I created a webinar 7 years ago. It sounds so crazy, but I created a webinar 7 years ago, and that same webinar has been running for 7 years. I shot that webinar 3 times, but I went with the very first version of that webinar. And why am I telling you this? I'm telling you because number one, most people don't have a webinar that's run for 7 years. Number two, the fact of the matter is when you see that webinar, what becomes clear is why it's been running for 7 years is because I'm telling my story. Okay. I'm sharing what I have done in my life. Okay. And it has value and resonance and has truth. It's not, behind the smoke and mirrors of something that's really fake. And I'm not using a teleprompter to regurgitate someone else's story. It's my story. And the reason that it will work for you is that if you understand the mechanics of how to market and position yourself in authentic ways, you'll see that you will, you literally will 5 times, 10 times your results because your ideal clients will come to you over and over and over again. And I can't stress this enough. It's like the thing that I love talking about because it really is flat the truth. All right. My clients, some people I've worked with, they've seen my webinar maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Some, just recently have seen it, and they just say, you're the person that you're meant to work with because I like you. I like your story. Right. And same is true for you. And if you don't know how to authentically market that way, I'd love to show you how to do exactly that. All right. So the fourth thing that I want you to keep in mind that you're going to need to do if you want to package your expertise, become a coach or consultant or trainer or license what you do online, is the fourth thing that you need to do is you need to know how to sell and close. All right. So a lot of times people don't know how to sell, they don't know how to close. But if you don't know how to get you can attract people to you. But if you ultimately don't know how to have a conversation that's meaningful around your offer, then your ideal clients don't buy from you. It's true. Okay. Now, I know it's true because maybe if you're already in business, you're like, why am I not selling? Right. And likely it is because of an inability to create connection with your audience, the right audience. And two, whatever your systematic sales process is, something is missing. And if that is missing, let me tell you, you need to get to a medical, no. You need to get to someone that can help you really be able to take that idea and put it in a systematic selling process. It's what I do. It's what I teach my clients how to do. And you want your sales process to be systematic if you want to do coaching and consulting. The idea of just making up what to say to a client that's a very valuable lead is just like, why would anybody do that? If you want to close more sales, you would learn from a professional that knows how to close sales, right? I have found that as a result of coaching so many people over the years and when meeting with prospects, that most people close less. Hear me on this. This is so scary. Less than 30% of the individuals that they speak with. Scary. That's like, are we serious? Are we serious? So that's like talking to 10 people and maybe getting 3 yeses. Maybe. Okay. And what I found really interesting is that most people have multiple offers, on average, 4 offers. 4 offers. And you know what those offers are? Downsell after downsell after downsell after downsell. And that means that you're not standing in your value. Y'all know I'm calling you out. You're not standing in your value. If you are selling, you're selling the lowest ticket thing. So even though there is some conversion, maybe 3 sales out of 10, talking to 10 people, you're not signing the person up for the highest level thing. And it's probably because you haven't even built the highest level thing. I don't know, highest level package for what you do as a coach and consultant. And that leads me to number 5. And number 5, that means that standing in your value, right? Building packages that fully value your gifts and your giftedness. And that means that those products are not going to be inexpensive. And I'll tell you that cheap coaches, typically, and consultants typically are out of business. Why? Because number one, you're not going to attract the right client, okay, investors. And I mean people who are willing to do the work. There's something about working with people who make an investment they can't walk away from. They just show up differently. When people make big investments and they're like, wait a minute, I got to do this. That's a different person. They'll roll up their sleeves in completely different ways than someone that doesn't do that. And I want you to really think about this. If you are a coach or consultant already and you're selling a low ticket, or if you're looking to get started coaching and you don't know how to package what you do at the highest level, you need to come and talk to us. You need to book a strategy session. I don't know if I have that link here. Um, or you need to come to the Sell Method. I'll post that here. And then I'll put the link for a strategy session here also. Let's do this here. Okay, strategy session is a 30-minute conversation with someone on the team, and we will help you identify how to take what you want to do and how to package it. Like, what are the opportunities that are available for you and where you want to get started. So if you haven't ever booked a session with us, you can screenshot the link right here and you can get started. Or if you're looking for an event and you want to do this in a weekend, then I want to invite you to attend my upcoming event, which is happening in 30 days, called the Sell Method. And the Sell Method is from soup to nuts. It'll teach you how to package what you do at the highest level, how to price to fully value the transformation that you bring, how to position yourself in the marketplace as the obvious choice, and how to find buyers. But not just that. You'll also learn how to license what you do, your offer, so that you have more options in terms of how you market, right? What you're bringing to. You'll learn the mindset that you need to have in order for you to step into those big deals, or for you to believe bigger for yourself, because sometimes that's the thing that's in the way. And you'll learn how to market using AI on Facebook, so you can attract more leads, right? So, or other social media for that matter, because it's all about being able to authentically construct a message and get in front of your ideal clients. The Sell Method is also going to teach you, obviously, how to sell. And I show you how to sell yourself, how to sell, let me do this, how to sell yourself, because you're the first sale. And once you understand how to do that, then your ideal customers will want to work with you more, right? So that's what I have for you today, right? Like, literally, I know that this is a hot topic. It's a question that we get asked every single week via email. How do I get started taking my expertise and package it, etc.? And I know that this is going to have tremendous value for you. If you know a friend who's thinking about coaching, getting started, be a great friend and share it with them, this broadcast with them. We love likes. We love your hearts, right? We love your comments. So you can put those all here no matter the platform. And even if you're watching the replay, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. But literally, packaging what you do, literally packaging what I know, changed my whole life. It allowed me to change the way that I work. It allowed me to change where that I work. It allowed me to monetize in ways that I didn't even know was imaginable. One of my dreams in my own coaching business, this is why I love coaching so much, is coaching is the kind of business that over time, you can always change your models, right, to suit where you are. And one of the things that was a dream for me was to be able to coach my clients anywhere. Right. So I've done some coaching my clients, in different parts of, whether it's in Puerto Rico. I hosted a mastermind and my clients came and I coached them there. Or whether they come to Baltimore and I have had the opportunity to coach them in my hometown in a completely different way in space, so that they really have a transformative experience, right? As a result of what I want to teach them or show them, or how I want to elevate and grow them. Or maybe as a coach, you just want to work with your clients via VIP days. I have a lot of clients who book VIP days with me. They're full days or half days they can book with me, where we just target in on that one thing, that one level of result and transformation that they want to get out of the way. And it's a quick, fast way for someone that really wants it, right? So the thing about coaching is the model is so expansive. You can literally build it any way that you choose. Like, I love the fact that last year, I was gone for about 145 days last year. I love the fact that while I was away, I was able to coach clients, right? Because of the way that my business worked. I love that. Like, I love that I have a business that I'm not bound to be in any one place, and therefore I can't deliver what I'm going to do. If I want my clients to come to me wherever I am, my business can accommodate that. To me, that's one of the most magnificent parts of how I get to work. I love that part. The fact that my clients can come to my home office, well, my downtown office, and I can work, or the fact that I can work from my home office and coach clients via, master training and group coaching, shared group times. I love it. So there's a lot of flexibility that you have in terms of the models. And I'd love to show you how to do this right and how to do it right for you, not right my models, right for you. The many ways to structure an amazing coaching business. And let me just tell you, one of the things that I wasn't interested in, and I think you guys that were at the top of the call get this, is I just didn't want to do this business in a way that was masculine, that was hard. I didn't want to do this business in a way that felt like a time drag. Like I literally, as a mom of with three kids and my husband who was healthy, obviously, but we obviously he had a kidney transplant and was on dialysis. I was not looking to build a business that was a job. Okay, like I didn't have time for that. And I know that you guys are busy. You don't want to be on Zoom all day. You don't want that. You want to figure out a way to be able to run a business around your life that feels good. And to me, coaching offers so many incredible opportunities in many ways that you can run a coaching and consulting business from the comfort of your home and serve people all around the world. I mean, I've literally hosted coaching events in Trinidad and Tobago. I've hosted 3 events over there and loved it. Like it was amazing and it was easy and it was amazing. To do work that you love and to love how you get to do the work, to me, is a gift. So I hope that I've given you some parts of my experience in coaching and consulting. I've done them both, and I've done licensing deals, and they're amazing too, right? Because you could do a licensing deal and people don't even have to know it's you. All right, it's like cool. It's like your IP, and if you don't know how to like operate from that zone, you're missing out, right? And I'm not talking about, if you want to go on the road and generate your clients that way, great. But I'm talking to those of you who are like, there's an easier way to do this thing, right? And you don't have to just have this great idea and sit in a room with no clients. That you can literally explode your business with the right systems and operating authentically for yourself with processes that are meant to work for you. All right. So I hope that this helps you in some way. I look forward to seeing you soon. I'll be here Monday next week. Usually I come on between 8:30 and 8:45. Share this with other friends and leave your comments. Have a great and amazing night.